The Galactic Empire was large and old. It had many planets and many star systems under its rule. The people of the Empire believed they were the strongest force in the galaxy. Their warships were fast and powerful. Their soldiers followed orders, without question. For many years, no one had dared to fight them. Then one day, strange ships appeared at the edge of the Hyron sector. These ships did not belong to the Empire. They had no clear markings. The Empire thought they were pirates or smugglers. The ships looked different and rough, but they moved quickly and stayed in formation. Commander Ethan Cole of the Empire's 9th Fleet was sent to stop them. He had 20 large warships. He did not think this would be a hard mission. He told his crew to prepare for a simple battle. When they reached the unknown ships, he gave them a warning. He told them to surrender or be destroyed. The unknown ships did not respond. Instead, they started to fire. Their weapons were fast and strong. The energy from their guns cut through the shields of the Empire's ships. In less than 10 minutes, half of Ethan's fleet was gone. Explosions filled space. One of Ethan's officers shouted that they were losing control. Ethan gave the order to pull back. But before he could act, the enemy ships vanished. They jumped away using a warp drive the Empire did not understand. The remaining ships of the 9th Fleet floated in silence. It was a defeat. News of the battle reached the Imperial Palace quickly. Empress Talina sat in her high throne. She watched the video recordings from the battle. Her face was calm, but her hands were shaking. For the first time in hundreds of years, the Empire had lost a space fight. Her advisors were shocked. One of them said the attackers were human. The Empress frowned. Long ago, the Empire had found Earth. At that time, humans were weak and not ready for space travel. The Empire had left them alone, thinking they were no threat. Now, things had changed. The Empress ordered all records about Earth to be opened. She told her generals to send scouts to the area near Earth. She wanted to know everything about what had happened, far from the Empire. In a quiet part of space, the unknown ships gathered. They belonged to the Earth Recon Group. These humans were from Earth, but they were not part of the main army. Their job was to explore and test the strength of other space powers. Captain Ryan Miller stood on the bridge of his command ship. His crew was calm. They had followed their orders well. The battle had not been for victory. It had been a message. Lieutenant, Nicole Brooks walked up to Ryan and handed him a message. It was from General Alan Briggs. The message said, "Good work. Pull back and wait. The real army hasn't even arrived yet." Ryan read it twice. He smiled, but only for a moment. He knew what it meant. Earth had been watching the stars for a long time. They had seen how the Empire ruled with fear. Now, Earth was ready to step into the light. This mission had been only the beginning. Back in the Empire, people were afraid. The news of the battle was kept secret from the public, but rumors spread. Some people said the Empire had been attacked. Others said new enemies had arrived. In the markets and the halls of power, fear began to grow. In the military centers, officers looked at the data from the battle. They could not understand how the enemy ships moved so fast or fired such strong weapons. One officer said it looked like the ships used a kind of AI that was more advanced than anything the Empire had. The Empress called a secret meeting. She asked her top scientists and generals what they knew about Earth. One old scientist said he had studied Earth years ago. He said the humans were smart, but they liked to be left alone. Now, it seemed they had changed. The Empress asked, why would they attack us now? No one had a clear answer. She looked at a star map. Her eyes stopped at the small dot that marked Earth. She whispered, "We should have paid more attention." The first part of a new story had begun. The galaxy did not know what was coming. The Empire had been warned, but the real army had not even arrived yet. Captain Ryan Miller sat in his chair on the command ship. The lights were dim, and the screens showed star charts and data. His crew worked quietly around him. They had finished their first task. Now they were waiting for new orders. Lieutenant Nicole Brooks was reading a report from Earth. She looked serious. She walked to Ryan and said, "General Briggs wants us to return to base." Ryan nodded. He had expected that. "Set a course for the fallback station," he said. The ships turned and jumped into deep space. They moved through quiet and dark areas, where few traveled. After a few hours, they reached the secret base. It was hidden inside a dead moon, invisible from the outside. Inside the base, many other ships waited. They were also part of the Earth fleet. Some were small scout ships. Others were large and strong warships. This was Earth's hidden strength. They had built these ships in secret, away from the eyes of the galaxy. General Briggs was already there. He stood in the main control room, watching screens and talking to other officers. When Ryan arrived, the general looked at him and smiled. "You did well, Briggs," said Dot. Ryan answered, "They know we're out here now." "Yes," said Briggs, "and that's the point." Briggs turned to a map showing the Empire's territory. He pointed at the Hiren sector. "They think we're just a small group," he said. "They don't know about this base. They don't know how many ships we have. They don't know we've been planning for years." Nicole stepped forward. "What's next?" she asked. "Now we wait," said Briggs. "The Empire will start looking for us. They'll search their borders. They'll try to understand what happened. But while they do that, we keep preparing." In the Empire, things were not calm. The Empress was angry. She had lost ships and had no answers. Her spies had found that the attackers were human. She ordered more ships to patrol the borders. She told her generals to prepare for war. She called a meeting with her top leaders. "We cannot look weak," she said. "If other powers see this, they will attack us too. We must find these humans. We must show the galaxy we are still strong." Her generals agreed. They sent scout ships to the edge of known space. They sent agents to old records to learn more about Earth. They searched old maps and reports, but they found very little. Earth had been quiet for a long time. On Earth, people did not know about the battle. The government kept it secret, but in hidden places, people were working hard. Engineers built more ships. Scientists tested new weapons. Soldiers trained in secret bases under the sea and in space. Ryan and Nicole met with other captains. They shared what they had seen in the fight. They talked about how the Empire had reacted. "Their ships were powerful," said one captain, "but slow. Their shields failed fast," said another. Ryan nodded. "We have the advantage for now, but they'll learn. We need to stay ahead." Nicole looked at Ryan. "What if they find Earth?" Ryan shook his head. "They won't. We've kept Earth safe for too long. They don't even know where to look." Back in the Empire, fear was growing. News of the attack began to leak. People whispered in the markets. Some said the Empire was hiding something. Others said a new enemy had arrived. Soldiers began to ask questions. Merchants stopped sending ships near the edge of space. A young officer named Leo Grant was sent on a scout mission. His job was to patrol the edge of the Hiran sector. His ship was small but fast. He had a crew of 20. Leo followed orders and searched the area. For days, they found nothing. Then one day, his sensors picked up strange signals. The signals came from a small moon. He told his crew to move closer. As they approached, they saw something strange. The moon looked dead, but there was a moment where part of it flickered. It was almost like it disappeared for a second. Leo told his crew to scan again. The results were strange. The moon had power readings. That should not be possible. Before Leo could act, something hit his ship. The lights went out. The screens turned black. The ship began to drift. On the hidden base, General Briggs looked at a screen. "We found another scout," he said. Ryan asked, "Did they get a message out?" "No," Briggs said. "We shut them down before they could send." Ryan looked. "Serious? They're getting closer." Briggs nodded. "We'll have to move soon." Ryan walked back to his ship. Nicole followed him. "Do you think we can win if they attack for real?" she asked. Ryan looked at the stars. "If we stand alone, maybe not. But we're not alone anymore. The real army is ready. And when we move, we won't be holding back." In the shadows of space, Earth's hidden fleet waited. The Empire was searching, but they were still blind. A storm was coming, and the humans were the ones who had started it. The galaxy was about to change, but most did not know it yet. Only a few understood that this was just the beginning. Captain Ryan Miller stood on the deck of his ship, watching the docking bay. More ships were arriving from deep space. These were warships, strong and fast, made by Earth in secret. They had heavy armor and weapons no one in the galaxy had seen. Before, he turned to Lieutenant Nicole Brooks, who stood beside him. "They're ready," he said. "The real fleet is here now." Nicole nodded. "We've been waiting a long time for this." Inside the base, soldiers marched in lines. They trained day and night. Many had never seen battle, but they were ready. They had been chosen for this mission. They believed in what they were doing. Earth had hidden for a reason. Now it was time to act. General Briggs walked into the main room. He looked at the large screen that showed the fleet. "The first part is over. We tested them. They failed. Now we move to the next step." He turned to his officers. "We will strike again, but this time we hit harder. We want the Empire to feel it. We want them to understand they cannot control the galaxy forever." The officers nodded. Each one knew the plan. Each one knew what was at stake. Ryan met with his team. They went over maps and flight paths. They chose targets carefully. The next strike would hit a key supply base of the Empire. It was far from the center, but important. The Empire used it to move goods, weapons, and fuel. "We'll hit them fast and leave before they can react," Ryan said. "We're not here to hold ground. We're here to send a message." Nicole pointed at the map. "This base is not well protected. They won't expect us to go this deep." Ryan agreed. "That's why it will work." The fleet moved quietly. Ships used stealth systems to hide from sensors. They jumped across systems without stopping. In a few hours, they were close to the target. Ryan gave the order. "All ships, move in. No delays." The Earth fleet moved like a shadow. In minutes, they were above the Empire's base. The Empire officers on the ground did not even know what was happening. Then the sky lit up. Lasers and missiles hit the base. Towers fell. Fuel tanks exploded. Empire ships tried to take off, but many were destroyed before they could fly. The humans did not land. They stayed in space and fired from above. It was fast and clean. Within 30 minutes, the base was destroyed. Ryan gave the command, "Pull back. We've made our point." The ships jumped away. In the Empire capital, alarms sounded. Reports came in quickly. Another attack, a bigger one. A base had been destroyed. No warning. No chance to fight back. Empress Telina stared at the screen in front of her. She saw the damage. She saw the broken ships and burning buildings. Her face was hard. "Enough," she said. "Send the Grand Fleet. Find them. Destroy them." Her generals stood straight. They had never seen the Empress so angry. She was ready for war. The Empire began to gather its strongest ships. Massive cruisers and battle groups moved to the outer systems. Scouts searched space for signs of the human fleet, but they found nothing. Earth's fleet had vanished again. Inside the secret base, Ryan and his team reviewed the results. Nicole read the report. "They lost the base. Supplies are gone. It will take months to rebuild." Ryan said, "Good. That slows them down. That weakens their grip." General Briggs joined them. He looked pleased. "This will shake the galaxy. The Empire has not lost like this in a long time. Other powers will take notice." He showed a message from another system. A small group of planets under the Empire had refused to pay taxes. They said the Empire could no longer protect them. Others were watching, waiting to see what Earth would do next. Ryan looked at the stars on the screen. "We're not done yet. There's more to come." On one of the Empire's border planets, people gathered in silence. They had heard rumors. They had seen broken ships return. One man said, "They say humans did this. Humans from Earth." Another asked, "How can that be? Earth is small. They have no empire." An old woman spoke. "Maybe they don't need one. Maybe they only need to show they're not afraid." Fear was growing in the Empire, but also something else, doubt. People started asking questions. Why were the humans so strong? Why did the Empire not know about them? In a hidden part of the galaxy, Earth's forces waited. They had hit the Empire hard, and the Empire was angry. But this was just the middle of the plan. The humans did not want to rule. They wanted freedom. They wanted the galaxy to know that Earth was strong enough to fight back. Ryan stood in front of his crew. "We've done well," he said, "but we're not finished. The Empire will come after us. Let them. We will be ready." He looked round. He saw brave faces. Soldiers, pilots, engineers. They all believed in the mission. "They think we are few," Ryan said. "They still think we are weak. Let them believe it, because when we strike again, they'll know the truth." Nicole stepped forward. "The real army hasn't even arrived yet." And with those words, the humans returned to the shadows, ready for the next move. The fight had only begun. The sky over the capital planet of the Empire changed without warning. Hundreds of ships came out of warp, blocking the sunlight. They were dark and silent. People looked up and froze. These were not Empire ships. These were human warships, and they had arrived without a sound. On the main battle station, alarms began to scream. Soldiers ran to their posts. Commanders shouted orders. But it was too late. The humans were already there. Captain Ryan Miller stood on the bridge of his flagship. He looked at the planet below and saw the great towers of the Empire's capital. He took a deep breath. Then he spoke to his crew. This is not an invasion. This is a warning. We show strength so they will listen. Lieutenant Nicole Brooks sent out the message. It went to every screen, every speaker, and every channel in the system. Ryan's voice filled the air. To the leaders of the Empire, this is Captain Ryan Miller of Earth. We do not come to destroy your world. But you must understand, Earth is no longer silent. We were patient. We waited. Now we are here. He paused for a moment, then continued. Your ships attacked ours. Your empire ruled by fear. But your time of control is ending. We bring a message, not just to you, but to the whole galaxy. Earth is strong, and we are not alone. The people on the ground listened in silence. Some cried, some cheered, some simply stood still. No one had ever spoken to the Empire this way. Empress Talina watched the message from her throne room. Her face was pale. She had not expected the humans to reach her planet. She had never felt fear like this before. Her generals gathered quickly. One shouted, "We must launch our defense ships." Another said, "We can't. They've blocked all flight paths." The Empress raised her hand. "We talk first, then we decide." She sent a message to the human fleet. She asked to speak with Captain Ryan Miller directly. Ryan received the message and agreed. A secure line was opened. The Empress's image appeared. On his screen, "You are brave," she said, "but you are foolish to come here." Ryan looked calm. "We are not here to fight you today. We are here to change what comes next." She raised an eyebrow. "You think you can force peace with weapons?" Ryan answered, "No. We force peace with truth, with power, with choice. You can still rule your people, but you will not rule the stars alone." The Empress was quiet for a moment. Then she asked, "What do you want?" Ryan said, "Freedom, respect, and a seat at the table. Earth will no longer be ignored." She ended a call without another word. Back in the palace, her advisors shouted. Some wanted war. Others warned that war would end in disaster. The Emperor stood in silence. She knew they were right. The Empire could not win against this new force. She turned to her advisors and said, "We will not fight today. Prepare a message. Tell the galaxy we are in talks with Earth." That message was sent out. It shocked the stars. For the first time in history, the Empire had paused. The strongest power had stopped to listen. In the following days, Earth's fleet stayed in orbit. They did not attack. They watched. They made their presence clear. On many planets, small revolts began. People started to ask for change. They wanted the same strength and freedom the humans had shown. Meanwhile, Earth's ships helped repair damage on outer systems. They gave food to starving colonies. They sent doctors to sick planets. People saw not just warriors, but helpers. Earth was not just a fighter. It was a builder. Nicole met with local leaders from several nearby systems. She heard their fears and gave them answers. She told them Earth wanted peace. She showed them the supplies and medical teams. One leader said, "You came with ships, but you brought hope." Ryan watched all this from the bridge. He knew the battle was not only with weapons. It was also with minds and hearts. General Briggs called in from another ship. "The plan is working," he said. "The Empire is shaken, and others are reaching out to us." Ryan asked, "What's next?" Briggs said, "We go to the Council. We ask for change, and we show we will not be pushed aside." Ryan ended the call and looked at Nicole. "We came to warn them. Now they know." She nodded. "But we're not done. they will test us again. Ryan replied, then we'll be ready. The real army is here, and we're not stepping back. In space, above the capital, Earth's ships stood like silent guards. The galaxy had seen them. The Empire had listened. But the road ahead was still long. Peace would take time. Still, the first step had been taken. The humans had arrived, and the stars would never be the same. The sky over the capital planet stayed quiet. Earth's ships did not fire. They did not move. They only waited. They waited for answers, for peace, or for a new fight. The people on the ground kept looking up. They had never seen the Empire like this, silent, unsure, afraid. In the throne room, Empress Talina sat alone. Her guards stood far away. Her face looked tired. She had ruled for many years. She had seen many enemies. But this was different. Earth had come without fear. And now they were changing everything. Her door opened. Her top general walked in. The humans are still waiting, he said. Yes, she replied. Because they know we are thinking. He asked, should we strike now? We still have ships. We still have power. She shook her head. Power is not enough. Not anymore. The general looked confused. Then what do we do? She stood up and said, we meet them. We see what they want. Far above, on the Earth flagship, Captain Ryan Miller stood ready. A transport ship from the Empire was on its way. Ryan had dressed in his simple uniform. He did not carry a weapon. This was not war. Not now. Lieutenant Nicole Brooks stood beside him. Are you sure about this? She asked. Yes, Ryan said. We came for change, not destruction. If we want that, change, we must talk. The Empire ship landed on the docking bay. Empress Talina stepped out with her general. She looked around at the humans. They were calm and focused. She saw no fear in their eyes. Ryan stepped forward. He gave a small nod. Welcome aboard. She nodded back. Thank you for allowing this. They walked to a meeting room. It was plain. No gold, no banners, just a table and chairs. They sat across from each other. The Empress spoke first. You have done what no other has done. You brought the Empire to the table. Now tell me why. Ryan answered, we want peace, but we want respect too. Earth will not be silent anymore. We want a place in the galaxy. We want freedom for others, not just for ourselves. The Empress looked at him. You don't want control. No, Ryan said. We want balance. We want to stop the fear. She was quiet. Her general spoke. You think the galaxy will follow you? Nicole replied, they already are. Not with weapons, but with hope. The Empress thought about the reports she had seen. Colonies, refusing orders, merchants asking for Earth protection, people speaking of freedom. It was true, things were changing. She looked at Ryan. If I agree to peace, what happens next? Ryan said, we help rebuild. We protect weak systems. We guide, not rule. The meeting lasted for hours. They talked about laws, trade, and peacekeepers. They talked about old wounds and new ideas. At last, the Empress stood. I will take your offer back to my council. If they agree, the Empire will change. Ryan nodded. If they refuse, we will not back down. I know, she said. That is why I believe they will say yes. She left the ship. Her general followed, silent and thoughtful. A few days later, a message came. The Empire had agreed. Earth and the Empire would begin working together. The fighting would stop. A new council would be formed. Earth would take a seat beside the oldest powers. The news spread fast. Across the galaxy, people cheered. On distant planets, families cried with joy. The war that never began was over, and something better had taken its place. In the secret Earth base, General Briggs smiled as he read the news. They did it, he said. On the flagship, Ryan sat beside Nicole. She looked at him. Do you think this peace will last? Only if we protect it, Ryan said. Only if we stay strong and fair. And if the Empire changes its mind, she asked. He looked out the window, at the stars. Then we remind them, the real army is still here. Weeks passed. Earth teams traveled to old Empire planets. They helped fix broken machines. They trained local guards. They shared knowledge. In return, the Empire opened its libraries and gates. People learned from each other. Children in schools learned about Earth's history. Humans read about the Empire's great cities. Walls fell. Trust grew, but not everyone was happy. In the far edges of the galaxy, other powers watched, silent, angry, afraid. They had hidden when Earth arrived. Now they made new plans. One shadow group sent a message. It had no name, no face, just a voice. The humans think they won. But this is not the end. We will rise. We will take back the stars. Back on Earth, Ryan read that message. He passed it to Nicole. She asked, Trouble? Maybe, he said. But we'll be ready. He turned back to his crew. He spoke with a strong voice. We showed the galaxy who we are. We showed them that we will not be silent. Now we protect this peace. We guard it. We lead it. Because the real army has arrived. And we are not leaving. The stars outside the window seemed brighter now. The galaxy had changed. And Earth stood at the center of that change. The war never came. But something greater did. A future, and it had just begun. Asterisk, it had been 3 months since Earth's ships appeared over the Empire's capital. The galaxy was still quiet, but many things had changed. Peace had come, but it was a new kind of peace. It was not built on fear, it was built on strength and trust. Captain Ryan Miller walked through the command deck of his ship. His crew moved around him, busy with their tasks. Reports came in from different systems. Some were good, some were not. Lieutenant Nicole Brooks stood by a screen. She looked serious. Another attack, she said. This time in the Velen sector. One of our supply stations was hit. Ryan frowned. Do we know who did it? No, she said. No name, no message. But they were fast and well armed. Ryan looked at the screen. The image showed a destroyed station, burning in space. It wasn't the Empire, he said. They have too much to lose now. Nicole nodded. I think it's someone else. Someone who wants to break the peace. Ryan walked to the main table. He opened a galaxy map. Mark all the attacks, he said. Let's see if there's a pattern. As the map filled with red marks, a shape began to form. The attacks were all in outer systems, places where Earth and the Empire had little control. General Briggs sent a message. We're tracking them, he said. They move fast, but they leave signs. Keep your ships on alert. We may have to strike first. Ryan agreed. Send scouts. I want to know who they are. On a dark planet, far from any major system, a group of ships landed. They had no flags or symbols. The people inside wore black suits. They spoke little and moved with purpose. One of them, a a tall man with grey eyes, stood before the others. Earth thinks they have control, he said, but they are wrong. The Empire is weak, and we will take their place. He turned to a table with maps. Hit them again, hit their supply lines, make them look weak. The galaxy must see that Earth cannot protect what it claims. Back on Earth's command ship, Nicole received a message from one of the scouts. They found something, a hidden base on a dead moon. Large energy readings. Ryan read the report. Send a team, he said. I'll go with them. Nicole looked surprised. You want to go yourself? Yes, Ryan said. If someone is trying to start a war, I want to see their face. A few hours later, a small strike team flew toward the dead moon. Ryan sat in the lead shuttle. Soldiers around him checked their gear. They were ready as they landed. The surface looked quiet. Grey rocks and dust covered the ground, but the scanners showed life below. They found a hidden door. It opened into a long tunnel. The team moved carefully. Ryan walked behind the front guard. Inside, they saw ships. New ones, built for war. They also saw stolen parts, some from Earth, some from the Empire. This was not just a base, it was a factory. Then the attack began. Gunfire echoed in the tunnels. Enemies poured out of hidden rooms. The fight was fast and loud. Ryan fired his weapon, helping his team push forward. One soldier shouted, "We're surrounded." Ryan gave the order, "Fall back. Get to the exit. Call for support." They fought there. Way out. As they reached the surface, Earth ships arrived above. Support had come just in time. Fighters from above fired at the base, giving cover to the team. Ryan got on the shuttle. Nicole's voice came through the radio. "We see you, bringing you home." Back on the flagship, Ryan gave his report. "They're building a new force," he said. "They want to take control of the galaxy." General Briggs responded, "We stop them now, or they grow stronger. Send the full fleet." Soon Earth's warships moved across the stars again. They hunted the hidden bases. Each one they found was destroyed. Each battle was fast and sharp. The message was clear. Earth would not allow another empire to rise through fear. In the empire's capital, Empress Talina met with her advisors. "We must help," she said. "If Earth falls, we fall next." The empire sent ships to support Earth. Together, they worked as one. Old enemies now stood side by side. Nicole watched the reports come in. "They're retreating," she said. "We're winning," Ryan nodded. "But we stay alert. We've shown our strength again. That brings both peace and enemies." The galaxy watched. Some cheered, some stayed silent, but all saw the truth. Earth was not weak. Earth was not afraid. Earth had stood up and stayed strong. On the bridge of his ship, Ryan looked at the stars. "We never asked for war," he said, "but we won't run from it. Not now, not ever." Nicole stood beside him. "The real army is not just ships and guns. It's people who believe." Ryan smiled. "And we believe." The stars were quiet again, but the fight for peace would never truly end. Earth had changed the galaxy, and they would keep it safe, because the real army had come, and it was here to stay.